Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Report podcast, brought to you by our friends over at Briar-Greaves Insurance. Protecting your assets starts with a company that you can count on. Whether it's auto, homeowners, flood, boaters, or business insurance, there's nobody better in the business to work with than the great people over at Briar-Greaves Insurance. For more information about them, visit their website, briargreavesinsurance.com, or you can give them a call at 813-876-4166. That's 813-876-4166. It's a Pewter post-game show, and once again, we're talking about a Bucs loss as they fell to the Panthers 23-20 on a late interception from Baker Mayfield as the Bucs are trying to either tie the game up or take the lead. The Bucs no longer are in the lead in the NFC South, and they've lost 6 of 7 games. Other than that, how's the play, Mr. Lincoln? We're going to break down everything from this game, the good, which not too good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's get into it on today's show. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me is my colleague, Scott Reynolds of PewterReport.com. Scott, it's hard to be mad when, I don't know, we've seen this every single week, and it's not coming from a mile away. Maybe not an interception late, but something to break the hearts of the Bucs and the Bucs fans.
Yeah, I mean, again, kind of like the Falcons game last week. I'm not surprised they lost. I picked them to lose. It's just kind of disheartening because they had opportunities to win this game. And just a couple of plays here and there. And it just goes to show you that folks, even if this team wins the division, they're not doing anything in the playoffs. They're just not. They've lost 3 straight games in the NFC South. They're now below 500, Matt, for the first time this year. For the first time this year. They had 10 days to prepare, to rest and prepare, and to get right for this game. And it feels like the play calling was kind of stale.
Very conservative.
Very conservative. I know Todd Bowles said at halftime, that they want to continue to run the ball and control the clock. And congratulations, Todd. Congratulations. You ran the ball and you controlled the clock. You won the time of possession, 34 minutes to 28 and some change. And you ran the ball really well, almost 170 yards on the ground. But see, here's the problem, Matt. Time of possession does not give you a win. Rushing yards, they don't give you a win either. Points give you a win. And if you score more points than the other team, that's how NFL games and other football games are defined as wins and losses. If you score more points than the other team, you win. That's just how it's played. And so to me, 20 points from this Buccaneer offense feels very, very light. Feels like with all of the weaponry that Baker Mayfield had at his disposal, that the bogged down, inside the red zone and settled for field goals. It feels like they left 10 more points out on the field. This team, with all of the firepower, should have scored 30 points today, and they didn't. I think they underachieved. I think the play calling was very suspect. The penalties were awful, and not on the refs. These were actual good calls on the
for real. Yeah, refs were fine today. I know there's a weird thing with the. When the Panthers hit into Riley Dixon, maybe that could have been called, but I don't have any issues with the refereeing in this game. The Bucs did it to themselves. Yeah. But you know what, Scott? The problem I had with the play calling, again, I don't mind their commitment to the run. How many times, throw in a play action, man. Yeah. On first down, there wasn't one play action. Yeah. And they treated Carolina's defense as if they were going up against Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, and Derrick Brooks. Yeah. Carolina's got some good players on the defensive side. There's no doubt about that. J.C. Horn, Mike Jackson, Derrick Brown. Yeah. They're not the 2002 Bucs. They're not the 85 Bears. They're not the Ray Lewis, Tony Saragusa, RIP led Ravens. But they treated them that way. Yeah. John Gruden, who's been on this show, and I said this during the game day show, but I'll say it again. John Gruden likes to say you either feel pressure or you apply pressure.
That's right.
And the Bucs did not apply the pressure with, you have Mike Evans. Yeah, they scored a touchdown, and that was awesome. But they didn't apply any pressure with what they had to do on offense. Yeah. Completely neutered Mayfield, and I understand Baker has not played well in recent weeks, but anytime they threw the ball more than 10 yards down the field, it's like,
Yeah.
wow, quote unquote explosive play by the
Right.
Bucs. They actually went down the field. They took no shots, and 20 points. It doesn't feel like 20 points on a day where the defense certainly made mistakes, but with this type of defense for the Bucs,
Yeah.
23 points allowed. You're like, wow, not bad by the
Right.
Bucs defense. Only 23 points, and yet it wasn't enough. And when they finally had to push the ball down the field on the final drive, some miscommunication, and the turnover ends to the loss in the game.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Baker Mayfield was better today as a running quarterback than he was as a passing quarterback, right? I mean, he had some great scrambles today. He was the second leading rusher, 49 yards on 4 carries, 2 runs over 20 yards.
Right.
And once again, we just see this team force feed Bucky Irving the ball. 19 carries for 71 yards. That's a 3.7 yard average. His longest run was 12 yards. And again, it wasn't like Bucky had a bad day, but it's almost like when you go to Hard Rock and you're playing the video slots, right? And you're trying to just get the bonus, right? You're just trying to hit, you're just hitting the button, betting $1.60, $3.20, whatever. You're just trying to get the bonus and trying to get like that big win. Meanwhile, it's like you're losing money that you're hoping to recover and then some with the big bonus that just doesn't really come. Meanwhile, Matt, we've seen Rachaad White rip off a 20-yard run against the Falcons and not get another carry that game. And he has a 39-yard run against the Panthers today and finished with 45 yards. Granted, some of the other carries he got were like in short yardage or down inside the goal line area where, you're not going to rip off a 15-yarder because there's not 15 yards to run. It's like 5 yards, right? And he got stopped a couple times. But he still finished, with a 9-yard average.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Tucker didn't really amount to much because all of his carries were down there by the goal line. He did punch it in, which is good. But again, when you're in that condensed yardage area, the goal-to-go situations, you're just, your average is going to suffer. But he got the touchdown, which is what they wanted. But I just don't understand having 5 carries for Rachaad White and 19 carries for Bucky Irving, that level of discrepancy when you're not getting the bonus. You're not hitting the payout with Bucky Irving. You're not getting the 20 or 30-yard run that you've gotten in each of the last 2 weeks. And Bucky is not the problem. I'm nitpicking a little bit here. But when I say Josh Grizzard didn't call a great game, that's part of it. And I mean, we don't know if Rachaad White had another 39-yard run or 29-yard run or 19-yard run or 9-yard run in him because we didn't find out. And so I don't know. I'm just a little befuddled by their force-feeding Bucky when at the end of the day, it's less than 4 yards per carry in every single game.
Exactly. It's not that Bucky's been an issue, as you said, but he's not balling out the way where it's like, he should get 25 rushing attempts because he's ripped off 15-yard run after 15-yard run. It's just very, it's like a little vanilla, honestly, with what Bucky has done since returning back to the lineup. And I'm not questioning like, is he 100%? Is he not 100%?
Yeah.
It's just not as explosive as I think a lot of us would have imagined. And it very much, even at the end, this isn't with the running game, but just with the offense, it kind of felt like, you talked a lot about when the Bucs used to play Dungy ball, which is keep it close in the fourth quarter.
Right.
It even felt at the end, if Baker doesn't throw the interception, they were going to run out of time and probably have to settle for a field goal regardless of what was going on in the game. And it was like, can you start pulling away? And no, you couldn't, because then as soon as the Bucs score a touchdown, the defense would then rear their ugly head and allow Carolina to score. And for the life of me, I just do not understand. I'm all for blitzing Antoine Winfield Jr. Like, he's one of your best players.
Yeah.
But there's 12 seconds to go in the second quarter. Like, dude, they're going for the end zone.
Yeah.
Why do you not have, and Jamel Dean didn't do his job, but how do you not prepare and just keep everybody near the end zone? Like, maybe you could have ran one more play, but you put Dean in this one-on-one situation where maybe you should have had more guys back and play to not allow the touchdown because you're already in field goal range. and you lose by 3. That was a huge swing right there, and it's just
Todd
good God,
Bowles.
man.
You're right. You're exactly right. Todd Bowles talks about situational football all the time. And if you're going to blitz Antoine Winfield Jr., that's fine. But here's the thing: get him up to the line of scrimmage, right? I mean, put everyone at the line of scrimmage. I was watching some of Mike Elko's defensive calls at Texas A&M, right?
Great game.
And
They lost.
yeah,
Great game.
and I mean, when he blitzes, he mugs everybody, and he brings one more than you can block, and he gets immediate pressure on the quarterback. It doesn't make sense to have Winfield lurking 7 yards off the line of scrimmage on that
Correct.
particular play, because it simply is a shotgun hike, take one step back and just throw the ball to the end zone. You're not going to get there. From a schematic standpoint, you have to cover 7 yards and then at least 6 more yards to get to the quarterback. That's a 13-yard run at the quarterback that you're going to have to cover 13 yards in 2.5 seconds. The ball's gone by then. Winfield didn't get there. So I'm with you. If you're going to blitz Winfield, get him at the line of scrimmage, because it's going to be basically a fade shot to the end zone. It's not a Hail Mary, because they're at the 30-yard line, 23-yard line, something like that. So
yeah,
it's a quick throw to the back of the end zone. So I don't understand the premise of blitzing Winfield from the depth that he was coming at.
correct.
Because he's not going to get there by the time the ball is thrown. And so, yeah, I'm with you. Either keep him back, or if you're going to blitz him, put him at the line of scrimmage with every other blitzer and just bum rush, right, the quarterback at the snap. Because that's the only time that you have the ability to make a play. Otherwise, it's a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, with the Bucs, you have the comedy of errors of, they have Bryce Young dead to rights, can't wrap him up, he escapes and then throws a touchdown. So, compared to Thursday's game against Atlanta and how they did against New Orleans, the defense was better. And I know Benjamin Morrison got beat on that play later in the game. I believe it was maybe Coker. They called the penalty on Morrison, but it was caught anyway.
Right.
I thought Benjamin Morrison actually fared pretty well in the game, and I thought Jacob Parrish had a nice for a start, and I thought Jacob Parrish had a nice bounce back game. But just situational football, I think, killed the Bucs defensively, specifically today.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
I'd probably put more blame on the offense today, but the defense definitely played their part.
I would too. You sit there and you say 23 points. That you should be able to beat a team, right, holding them to 23 in the modern NFL day. Problem is the Panthers came in averaging 19 points per game. So you allowed them to score 4 points over their average. Where does that 4 points come in? On that play, on that Teteroa McMillan touchdown, where if you hold the Panthers to 3 points with a field goal there, then they're at 19, not at 23. If the second half plays out the way that it did, right? But instead, you're giving them the 4 points right there. That's the difference in the game. And to me, that's kind of the damning play is right before the halftime. You're giving them a bunch of momentum, and you do a pretty good job on Rico Dowdle. He didn't kill you
for sure. You
did a pretty good job. The Panthers ran for 101 yards. That's not the end of the world, right? You got rushed them by 170, but it's those two plays in and around the red zone that killed you. And I hate to say it, it's like when you have that play. And Logan Hall, he just can't sack the quarterback to save his life. He's just become allergic to quarterbacks, right? Because he had Bryce Young dead to rights, just like he had Tyler Shuck dead to rights. And don't worry, Bucs fans, he's not going to get re-signed. He's not coming back to Tampa. So you got a couple games left with him and Red and Pewter. But on that play, you've got 2 Buccaneer defenders against their backup tight end, Jatavian Sanders, who's wide open in the end zone. Who were those players? The guys with C's on their chest. Levante David and Antoine Winfield Jr., and that's a bad look. When you got your team captains, the guys that have been in this Todd Bowles defense and should know what to do and where to be and when to plaster and all that. But both of those guys let Sanders behind him, and they're within 5 yards or at the goal line maybe trying to come up and prevent Bryce Young from scoring a rushing touchdown, but nobody had the tight end back there. And that's just the way the season has gone. Poor execution on offense, poor execution on defense, poor play calling equals a poor season. And that's where we are right now, 7-8. We're not going to sugarcoat it. This is not a Buccaneer cheerleader podcast. This is a tell the truth podcast. When they win, we will praise this team and it'll be fun, a lot more fun. We'll have Victory Monday podcasts. When they lose, we have to objectively call it like we see it. I think enough Buccaneer fans that are tuned into Pewter Report's podcasts throughout the year or years, you know that about us. We're going to tell it like it is. And it's his 3 straight NFC South defeats in a row. This team, no matter what happens over the next 2 weeks, they don't deserve to win this division playing the way that they are. And I have nothing to cling to that tells me they're going to go down to Miami and win that game on Sunday. I hope they do for you Buccaneer fans' sake. I hope they do. But I can't, in good conscience, say I can hang my hat on this about the offense, or I can hang my hat up about this about the defense that tells me the Buccaneers are going to beat Miami next week. I don't even know. And this is not a good Miami team. Would they lose to the Bengals today, or do they win?
I'm not sure. I saw Joe Flacco win in the game.
They got
I don't know if that was because of injury.
Yeah, they got killed 45-21. So they lost today.
Right. I mean, the Bucs have lost 6 of 7. They've lost to the Saints and the Falcons.
Yep.
Like, everything's on the table in terms of, like, the Bucs shouldn't be the favorite. They certainly won't be against the Panthers in Week 18. This team can lose to anybody. They have lost to, pretty much all caliber types of teams. And, I know we spent the past couple of months kind of talking about how Lavonte David has slowed down and it might be ready to go. I think he had a signifying moment of, like, it's time to retire in this game. I want to say it was the second half. Panthers had a 3rd and short. I want to say it was like a 3rd and 2, and they ran it with either Hubbard or Dowdle. I forget which one. And Lavonte met him at the line of scrimmage, had a chance to make a tackle, and just got pushed over and got enough yards for the first down. And it was like, damn, vintage Lavonte David, that's a tackle at the line of scrimmage for a loss, put the hand up, 4th down. But looks like the game has kind of passed Lavonte by a little bit. And it's sad to say, but
it is.
It's the reality that we're in right now with the Bucs.
That's right.
It sucks to go out this way too.
If you're a Buccaneer fan that's been around long enough, you remember the 2008 season with Derek Brooks. Kind of saw the same thing. 35-year-old legend just has lost a step. The game passes you by. Father Time is undefeated in the game of football. But the good news is no one's going to remember Lavonte David for this season. It's going to be for all of the highlight reel plays, the Super Bowl season, the 2021 season, those types of things. So that's the good news is like, just like Buccaneer fans, you don't really think about the 2008 version of Derek Brooks. This season's not going to define Lavonte David. His career is already cemented. He's a Bucs Ring of Honor guy. Whether he makes the Ring of, or I should say, Hall of Fame guy, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to make the Hall of Fame. He's got 1 Pro Bowl and 1 All-Pro berth on his football card. He has the numbers. I think he should deserve to make it. But Simeon Rice has got just as good of a case, if not better. And I don't think he's going to make it. So we'll see.
It's tough, too, that Bobby Wagner's still doing it, and Bobby Wagner's got a little more popularity than Lavonte does.
Exactly.
So, they'll always kind of be compared together, whether that's fair or not, it's just kind of the way it is. But we got a lot of super chats to get to, so let's keep it rocking and rolling. Appreciate each and every one of you for joining us on this show. Completely understand why you should be angry and frustrated, but you're still hanging with us, and we appreciate it. So we'll start with the Real Maverick. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, not surprised they have been in their own words in playoff mode since the Cardinals game. We have all seen the results. This team had no urgency all day. That's coaching. End of story. Poor execution. I've always wondered if Todd Bowles will break out the, break glass in case of emergency, like his moment of yelling at people on the sidelines or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's now or never, man. Like, if you don't win these next 2 games, you're not going to have that opportunity to do so because he likely will be out of a job. And honestly, I kind of thought in the 4th quarter, if the Bucs weren't able to tie the game up or get the win, which they didn't.
Yeah.
What if they lose to Miami? Would the Glazers consider firing Todd Bowles before the rematch against the Panthers, where it's like, hey, you need a spark one way or another? Maybe this is what kind of infuses the team. Now, I don't think that's a very likely scenario, but I don't know. They've lost 6 of 7, another 3-game losing streak. Like, it's as ugly as it's been for this team under the regime of Bowles as head coach.
Yeah, this is not like the last 2 seasons. This is a free fall situation. This is like Raheem Morris-esque in the 2011 season, where they start off 4-2 and they lose 10 straight. I mean, it hasn't been that big of a slide yet. But folks, I mean, if this season turns into 7-10, this will have been a 1-win stretch down since the bye week. I mean, that's unacceptable. I don't care. If they fired John Gruden after losing 4 straight games to finish 9-7, which is a winning record, but then missed the playoffs after a 9-3 start, I don't know. I don't know. And it's like, I don't want to take away from this team's accomplishments, or I don't want to diminish what Todd Bowles has done here, but it's not like this team is winning the NFC West, right?
Yeah.
Or the NFC North right now. They barely won the NFC South, which is the worst division of football. And here it is. We're entering week 17. This team has a losing record now. It's 7-8. And they haven't wrapped up the division yet. So if they end up winning it, it feels like a participation trophy at this point. It feels like, oh, you were the best team in a shit division. Here's your participation trophy. Now go lose in the first round of your home playoff game again.
You won't diminish it, but I will. Like, is anyone impressed by an 8-9 record winning the division in his first year as head coach? Hell no. I mean, this is a joke of a division. And whoever wins it, whether it's the Panthers or the Bucs, it's just a ticket to a first-round loss and probably an embarrassment to whoever doesn't win the NFC West. And you know what? At least the Panthers have a chance to upset a team. The Bucs have absolutely
I was going to
no
say
chance
that, Matt. I was going to say, if there was a bet, which team in 2 parallel universes would win their home playoff game this year, Carolina and Dave Canales, or Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers, and let's say they both have 9 wins on the season, right? They win the division.
Yeah.
I got to go with Dave Canales and the Panthers.
No question.
It pains me to say that, but I think it's the truth.
No question about it. I mean, you look at some common opponents, the Rams are a perfect example. Bucs get smoked on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, Baker got hurt, but it was ugly before Baker got hurt. Panthers beat the Rams. I don't think what else needs to really be said about it.
Yeah.
FLTB, thank you for the $4.99, says, how fitting was it to see Coach Bowles wearing an Inspire Change sweatshirt? Fire Bowles and fire Light. I don't think Jason Light should get fired. But yeah, I mean, Bowles, this has gone on for too long with just poor moments, poor defensive lapses, and not being able to motivate the team. I mean, how long can you get away with 3-game losing streaks every single season? Now they have 2 separate 3-game losing streaks. It's unreal.
Yeah. Well, we're going to, first of all, there's no inspiring going on right now, and we'll see if there's change. We'll see if there's change in a couple weeks. So
next super chats, we go to Paul, OG Baker Bro. Thank you for the $5. Says, let not your heart be troubled, friends. This sealed the fate of Bowles and Grizzard. The team needs a reset. Horrid game plan and no heart from the players. Yeah, I mean, the only person yelling is Mike Evans. And, even right when Baker threw the interception, he tucked his tail between his legs. The Panthers player coming over to hug him, I'm surprised Baker was fine with that. Typical Baker's screaming, probably saying F you, maybe pushing him. You don't want to throw a punch, but, shoving his face out of the way. And he was just like, yeah, good game, man. What? Yeah. And even Baker up at the podium, after the Patriots lost, he was calling guys out and saying, our practice has been crap or whatever. Yeah. So I guess you can only yell till you're blue in the face or red in the face so much.
Yep.
But, Baker just seems like he's got his tail tucked between his legs. He's ready to take his ball and go home and enjoy a nice offseason.
It feels like this team is just in off-season mode right now. They're resigned to the fact they're going to lose this division. And I don't see the necessary focus needed to overcome some of these execution issues and get wins, unfortunately.
Rich Balchin, thank you for the $5 super chat, says Todd Bowles and Grizzard out. 10 days to plan, all weapons back, and that's your game plan. Good job, though, Todd Bowles. We won time of possession. Todd Bowles must be the worst coach with time to plan. Yeah, right? I mean, they come out of the bye, you're 1-6 or whatever, and it's just time and time again. The more time the Bucs have to think, the worse that they are. So
that's true.
It's a tough
one. True.
FLTB, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says, whoever's our next head coach, bring a damn good defensive coordinator. I mean, they just need all better coaching.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
John V23 on X, thanks for the $4.99. Says, time of possession champs. Hang the banner where the NFC South one was supposed to go. I love that. Good comedy.
Yeah.
Vision93, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says, all of our seasons on since 2023 has ended in Baker picks and continues this year.
I mean,
that's true. Yeah, like losing to Detroit in the postseason, that happened.
Yeah, I mean, Baker since the bye week has thrown 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
He's only thrown multiple touchdowns in 2 games. 2 touchdowns last week, 3 against the Patriots. Otherwise, it's been 1 touchdown and usually 1 interception. So it has not been good. I'm going to be really, 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 really curious to see what happens with Baker Mayfield this offseason. Now, he will be the Bucs quarterback next year. There's no doubt about that. But is he going to get the extension next year? Or are they going to make him wait? And if he's going to get the extension, I mean, let's just be honest. The last 3 NFC South losses this team has had, Tyler Shuck has outplayed him in the Saints game. Kirk Cousins outplayed him. All right. Those are 2 backup quarterbacks. I guess Shuck is now the starter, but he didn't start the season as the starter.
And he's a rookie.
He's a rookie. Right. He's a rookie. Here you have Bryce Young, fellow Heisman Trophy winner,
That's right. Yeah.
Fellow number 1 overall draft pick, outplayed him today. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Baker had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Wasn't by much, but you got outplayed by every other quarterback in the NFC South. And I'm not throwing shade at Baker Mayfield. I'm not hating on Baker Mayfield. I'm simply reporting the facts. You can look at the stat sheets, and that's what the stat sheets are going to show you. That's what ESPN's game log is going to show you. You pull up all of these, and you just look at what happened. What were the results from the quarterback position? And he lost to all 3 of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's fatal or whatever. Baker is banged up. He's not 100%, whatever. He's not getting the right play calls, whatever. We can make all the excuses in the world. He's going to be here next year, and I'm fine with that. But to go back to the Popeyes commercial, Matt, that we saw in the summer, we need better Mayfield. We have not gotten better Mayfield since the bye week. It has not been better Baker. It has been
he
bad
hasn't. And he was okay today, but okay wasn't enough. It was not enough. And they needed better Mayfield. They needed a great Baker on the final drive of the game. And I understand it was miscommunication with Mike and that whole thing. But once again, earlier in the season, he was leading these comeback drives.
Yeah.
Later in the season, he had a chance with the Patriots game to win it late. Certainly had a chance to close it out against Atlanta. And then today, now he's not getting it done. So, okay is not enough.
To HK's point here, Scott, instead of just reporting, tell us how you really feel. That's how I really feel. I'm just reporting it, but that's how I feel. I want the guy that went toe-to-toe, throw for throw with Sam Darnold and looked fantastic against the Seahawks. I want the guy who was last-minute touchdown passes and wins against the Texans and the Falcons. I want the guy that looked damn good against the 49ers. That's what he's capable of being. He's capable of doing that. I love the fact that he is the emotional leader on this offense, that he's the heartbeat of this team, the engine of the offense. I love all of that. I just want the first half Baker. This second half Baker is just not getting the job done on offense, But
no.
Is there a better quarterback out there that the Buccaneers are going to get in 2026? No. I want him as the quarterback. But I want the better Baker at quarterback.
Kings are awful. Thanks for the $1.99. Says, I'm getting what I want for Christmas, a new head coach. I mean, you likely
Probably
are.
right.
JD Foster, thanks for the $6.99 super chat. Says, trade Baker for picks. Get our wide receivers a proper quarterback and more draft capital for the defense. Imagine Burrow with these receivers. I'm so over Baker for a while now. I mean, if Joe Burrow becomes available, then hell yeah, try to make that trade, but I don't see that happening.
The other thing, too, with Joe Burrow, I know he doesn't have the offensive line necessarily in Cincinnati, but he has been hurt a lot.
Super injury prone. There's no sugarcoating that.
Yeah.
He's one of the most fun players to watch in the NFL, but he's gotten hurt, the last 3 seasons in a row, his rookie year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was injured. Really, like the 1 year he was healthy, they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But can't help the club in the tub, as you like to say. Perimeter Blocker, thank you for this $4.99 super chat. Says Gruden performed a modern miracle, Super Bowl 37. He is the solution and can be bought out of Barstool. I don't think he's the solution.
Yeah.
Like Gruden, I like the memory of what he's
yeah.
brought and what he represents for this team, but I think they should leave it be.
I agree.
JD Foster.
Now, having said that, if they decide to bring John Gruden back, I'll support that decision. I'm not going to campaign for it necessarily.
Sure. Yeah.
If they conclude, hey, we're going to give it one more shot with John Gruden, considering that there's hardly anybody out there from an offensive play calling standpoint, that there's no Ben Johnson, there's no Liam Cohen this year, right? So if they're destined to do this, I would say proceed with caution, and I would say lock John out of the war room when it comes to draft weekend. I trust Jason's picks a lot more than John's, but from a motivational standpoint, from a team leadership standpoint, and you know what? Here's the thing too: if John could come in and just simply be a bridge quarterback and say, I'm going to give me 3 years, and then I'm going to hand this team off to an offensive-minded guy that I'm going to bring in and recruit and groom. John Gruden brought in Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. The dude knows coaches. So I'm just saying, I'm just trying to find the positives in all this. If they went that route, I would just say, yeah, John, this is kind of a short-term proposition, right? Win as many games as you can, right? But we want you to find the next McVay, find the next Shanahan, and then hand the ball off to one of your successors. I think that would be awesome if it were to happen. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Yeah, if the Bucs do go with John Gruden, I will understand why, but to your point, not campaigning for it. JD Foster, thank you for the super chat. Says of 279. Next season, fresh start. Need a new head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. For sure, they need to just kind of reboot everything, and not because they have the talent on the team to get it done, but it's just not the case. Keita Villain has now been a Pewter Report YouTube channel member for 3 months now. Thank you very much for your support. Says, Matt and SR, isn't it crazy? We just lose to our entire division in 3 weeks. All these weapons, we can barely move the ball. Rizard isn't it, man. Yeah, I mean, I tried to back Josh Rizard more because he hasn't had all of the players here. And, this was the first game where he had all 4 wide receivers. But this game plan just didn't. I get what they were trying to do with establishing the run. There's no doubt about it. And they did have success running the football. But one of the big components of running the football is that you implement play action and all these different things. And if you want to run the ball, fine, but you got to take some shots here and there. And they just never took any shots in the game. And yes, Mike did score a touchdown, and that was great. But there wasn't enough. I'm not saying it's got to be a 60-yard throw down the field, but you got to find somewhere between a deep bomb of 65 yards and a 10-yard pass looking like the most fascinating play of all time, because that's what it felt like. Chris Godwin made a catch for a first down. It was about a 12-yard throw. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Tampa Bay threw the ball down the field. What an insane concept. Moving on. Shout out to Virgin Boys. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Says, who do you think Clint Kubiak will hire as a defensive coordinator?
I have no idea. I'm not sure if I want Clint Kubiak. I know he is a good play caller, but his team needs more than an offensive coordinator. It really does.
Yeah.
The defense needs fixing. This team needs a whole vibe change. And, you know, I got to do more research on Clint Kubiak. I've done a ton on Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Rams. We talked about it on the Pewter Insider show, Matt. We had some questions about.
We did.
If Todd Bowles gets fired, you know, who do you like? And I said, well, Chris Shula, the Rams defensive coordinator, he could bring Nate Scheelhaase, right, from the Rams to be the offensive coordinator. Scheelhaase got an interview last offseason when the team ultimately hired Grizzard, but he was one of the candidates they interviewed. So there's some interest there already. And if you bring the Rams offense and the Rams defense to Tampa Bay, and I know he's a defensive coordinator hire, but here's the thing. If you look, we've seen Kevin O'Connell go and become a head coach, right, from the Rams organization. We've seen Zach Robinson go become an offensive coordinator at Atlanta. We've seen Liam Cohen go become an offensive coordinator at Tampa. And there's a couple of other, you know, coordinators, and Scheelhaase is the pass game coordinator. But if he comes and let's say he gets a head coaching job, all Chris Shula has to do is keep going to the Rams and grabbing their pass game coordinator or their offensive coordinator, because Sean McVay is always going to call the plays there. So you just keep the Rams or kind of like your farm team, and you just go there and keep plucking offensive coordinators. I know that it's always better to have, in the present day and age, the offensive coordinator be the head coach, because then he's not leaving and you get that quarterback play caller continuity. But if that guy's not out there this year, and I'm not sure Clint Kubiak has the dynamic personality to do that. And if you don't think that matters, watch some of the Cardinals with who's their head coach again?
Right now.
The Jonathan
Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon. Go watch that milquetoast guy. He is milquetoast, man. They had him on the behind the scenes Hard Knocks or whatever it is, All Access, and he's trying to fire these guys up in a team meeting, and it looks like they're sleeping in there. It looks like it's nap time. So you have to have somebody that can motivate you and inspire you. That's the role of a leader. I don't know if Clint Kubiak and his personality, which is kind of flatlined from the interviews that I've seen, if he's that guy or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. There is certainly the aspect of his dad was a head coach, so maybe he, pulls something from that. But yeah, Bucs will certainly have a couple of decisions. You've sold me a lot more with Shula and taken from the Rams year after year on the offensive side. So
yeah,
Kings are awful. Thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Says, I'm good with losing the division. Better draft pick, clean house, bring in Kubiak, because I had zero interest in watching Bowles versus McVay. Also, did you guys see the Rams fired the special teams coach?
Yeah.
Accountability. Yeah, I think we spoke about that this morning. Just crazy. The Bucs make no moves, no adjustments. Special teams has been awful this season in many regards. It was okay today. And, Bowles doesn't do anything, but McVay is consistently trying to get better.
Yeah.
Michelle, thank you for this $5 super chat. Says, please explain to me, you have all your weapons back and you don't use them. Gedeke, what the hell? Defense, shaking my damn head.
Yeah, bad game for Luke Gedeke. We were kind of singing his praises against Nick Scorton today, and Scorton actually had a hell of a game.
Out. Yeah,
he really did. So
yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Luke Gedeke today. I really don't. That he just picked a bad day to really have a mental collapse in terms of the concentration, right? With the penalties, and just wasn't good. And he's been playing really well since he came back from that foot injury. I don't know. Just an off game for Luke Gedeke. Yeah, it's like whack-a-mole, right? It's like just when one guy screws up one week, and then it's the next week it's another guy's turn, and it's not good.
Yeah, quiet game from Emeka Egbuka as well. Had a false start penalty because Gedeke had some false starts and Egbuka had one as well, so that made me think of it.
Well, I will say this: when you look at the people who are always up to the task, it's the folks over at Jorgensen Law.
Welcome to Jorgensen Law, PA, where our family's legacy drives us to fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury, workers' compensation, and Social Security, we're committed to winning for you. No fees unless we succeed. Trust in our family to help yours. Let's achieve justice together.
Jorgensen Law, PA. They're not going to false start. They're not going to hold. They're going to win. They're not going to lose. Get a free case evaluation and no fees until they win. I love that confidence. They're the champions of the injured and disabled with an office over in St. Petersburg. Visit them on the web at jorgensenlawoffice.com. That's jorgensenlawoffice.com, or give them a call, 727-347-7733. Great family-owned business in the Tampa Bay area. Big Tampa Bay fans, big Pewter Report fans as well. So please give them your business if you are injured and have the need for an attorney to help out with personal injury or Social Security or workers' comp. Again, Jorgensen Law, PA. Visit them on the web, jorgensenlawoffice.com.
Thanks to Paul Morales for the $1.99, who says, Chris Shula, head coach, McDaniels, offensive coordinator next year. I wouldn't mind McDaniels as the offensive coordinator. Yeah. I mean, the Bucs will see him. It would be a hell of an audition, right? You go up against Todd Bowles. Dolphins offense puts up 30 points with Quinn Ewers. Yeah. I wouldn't hate it. I mean, you're going to explore a couple of options, but something to think about. CJ, thanks for the $1.99. Super Chat says, MVP talk got to Baker's head, ? I don't think so. He was one of the first guys to be like, listen, it's a long season.
Right.
I believe he quoted Nick Saban saying it's rat poison when you hear all the compliments and stuff like that. I don't think it was an issue with MVP. Valkyries, thanks for the $1.99 Super Chat. Says, offense played for the first, not the touchdown every time. Yeah, they weren't that aggressive, and it came back to hurt them.
I agree.
Cali Bucs, thanks for the $4.99, says, how many passes beyond 20 yards offensive play calling looked like a military academy team? Someone said during the game, like, we're Army. Yeah. Grizzard has no idea when to use play action. Team is a joke. The lack of play action, especially on first downs.
I don't get it.
I think I was trying to convince myself, like, okay, they ran it a lot on first down, ran it up the middle. I was like, second half, they get the ball first. Like, that's when they're going to lull the Panthers into biting on play action, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They just never pulled the trigger on it. It was crazy to me. I'm fine with a lot of the runs. I can live with some more first down runs, even though it was probably way too many. But you got to throw in a play action here or there. They just didn't. It's very, very confusing. Virgin Boys, thanks for the $1.99 Super Chat, says, we need a head coach like Liam Cohen. Oh, wait, we had him.
It's not over till it's over, right? That's why you play 4 quarters. But right now, Jacksonville leading in Denver, 14-10 with 4 minutes left before halftime. So the Fighting Liam Cohen's getting the job done out there. Trevor Lawrence, 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, and coming off a career game for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And, it's right now a good day for former Bucs offensive coordinators turned head coaches. Alex Scott, thanks for the $5 Super Chat, says, when the announcer said the Bucs told them in interviews that they were going to run the ball 30-plus times and control the time of possession, I knew it was a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, you got to respect your opponent, but I think they gave the Panthers defense too much respect.
If you have the Monty Kiffin 2002 Super Bowl winning Bucs defense, you can play Dungy ball and you can win games 17-16 and all that, but it's not the case. You have to give Bryce Young some credit. I mean, he outplayed Baker Mayfield today, right? He just did. He escaped sacks and made things happen, and Baker didn't. And 23 points was enough today to beat the Buccaneers. It's sad to say, but it's true.
Sad but true. That's the case. Jordan Schneiderman, thank you for the $13.99 Super Chat. Says, everyone assumed offense was back after putting up 28 versus Atlanta. Don't forget they had 100-plus yards in penalties. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Closer to scoring 20 points like today without those. Thanks, Pewter Report, for being there for us. Well, appreciate the kind words. Yeah, that's a really good point. The refs certainly let them play today, and I'm in favor of that.
Yeah.
They did get bailed out a lot. Against Atlanta with the penalties, and the Bucs weren't getting those in today's game. And, they scored 8+ points, and you can see why.
Yeah.
The Real Maverick, thanks for being a Pewter Report YouTube channel member for 4 months now.
Thank you.
Says, Bowles never has the team prepared defense plays better, yet offense commits how many penalties? This Bucs team is the worst tackling Bucs team ever. Goal line, can't get a touchdown. Third down before half, we blitz. Why? Bad play calling everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I agree with everything you said. You Pewter people are so friggin' smart. You just are. I know it's because you read our stories at PewterReport.com. I know that's because you are regular listeners to the Pewter Report podcast. But got to hand it to you. Your comments are spot on, people. You really are.
Yeah.
You're smart.
No doubt about it. David Weber, thanks for the $4.99, says average 36 passing yards per quarter. With these receivers, we should be scoring 35 points a game. What was the game plan criminally bad?
Yeah, I mean, when you have four wide receivers, these four, right? And let's just say 2 first-round picks, 2 third-round picks. You've got the top 2 wide receivers of all time in franchise history, right? On the field together, along with your franchise quarterback, your $100 million man. Throw the ball.
Throw the damn ball. And you know what? I'm sick of these 3 wide receiver tight end sets where Kate Otten will line out with the receivers as well. Get Kate Otten off the damn field.
Yeah.
I'm
just
tired of Kate Otten. Yeah, exactly. Just go 4 wide. Use your best opponents. Keep Rashad White in there to pass block.
Yeah. If you want to run the ball, then like spread the team out with 4 wide receivers and then force the Panthers into certainly nickel, but if not dime. And then run the ball with Bucky in those instances where it's a much lighter box. I don't understand.
And I get it, you don't want to like play your hand or kind of forecast what you're going to do, but like when Bruce Arians was the coach and they won the Super Bowl in 2020, they just had an extra lineman come in and be an extra blocker. Like Cam Brate wasn't exactly a blocking tight end. I know Gronk joked about it and stuff. I'm a blocking tight end, baby, but I don't know. Like at some point, you just gotta put the best product on the field, and I don't think Kate Otten is that.
I agree.
Mr. King 03, thanks for the $5 super chat, says, why are they acting like Bucky Irving is Derrick Henry? 19 carries in 2025. I mean, this offensive game plan felt like it was 1979. I think that's a spot on point.
It is
right there. It was an offense set for 30 plus years ago.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great comment. That what I'll add to it is, and I criticize Todd Bowles for not reading the room about his defense sometimes, like and wanting to punt the ball away and trust his defense when it's like, why would you trust your defense? It hasn't made a stop all day, right? We've gone down that road before with Todd Bowles. Now it's the same thing with Josh Grizzard. Like, read the room. Bucky's averaging 3.7 yards per carry. Like, he's a good player for some reason. I don't know if it's Bucky's not the biggest guy, and so when you run between the tackles and you're a little guy, you're susceptible getting ankle tackled or brought down by one tackler more often than not when you're 190 some pounds. And when you're running between the tackles, and the 3 guys that are kind of paving the way for you in between those tackles are Mike Jordan, Dan Feeney, and Graham Barton, there's not a lot going on there. So to me, I don't know. Again, if you say you're going to go with the hot hand, the guy that ripped off the 39-yard run that you're waiting to see Bucky Irving hit on, and it just doesn't happen, the guy that had the 39-yard carry, and was that his first carry, Matt, or his second? Do you remember?
I believe it was his first.
Oh, his first carry. Okay, so so his first carry against the Falcons is 20 yards. His first carry against the Panthers is 39 yards. And why you're not featuring that guy more, I don't know. When the discrepancy is 19-5, I don't know. That's a little sketch to me. Read the room, Josh.
For sure. I don't blame Rashad White. Some people are getting on his case for posting pictures of him and Jaden Daniels. And like, that's his friend. I had no issue with it.
Exactly.
But
they're literally best friends.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he was indicating like, I want to play specifically for the Commanders next year, which also wouldn't make sense because they got Bill Krosky-Merritt, who was a rookie. So he'd just be going and being a backup. But if I'm Rashad White, I'm like, get me out of here. They're not using me. I'm not running the ball. Like, why would Rashad White want to come back? It's not a winning team anymore. You could have made the case, okay, they make the playoffs every year, but they're not a good team. So if I'm Rashad White, I'm moving on to another team.
Yeah.
Cruise Official, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says, what the F happened to this team after the bye? Maybe they had the best vacation of their life and they're just so relaxed that they They haven't been able to snap back into game mode, stuff like that.
They lost to 3 pretty good teams: the Patriots,
For sure,
the Bills, and the Rams. And I think this team thought, like we all did, okay, we're going to course correct now. We had 3 tough losses. We're getting healthier after the bye week, and we're starting to get some pieces back now. And it sets up with 3 straight home games: Cardinals, Saints, Falcons. We make up for those 3 games we lost by winning these 3. And I think a lot of them just thought automatic pilot, just press the win down the stretch button, just like they have the last 2 years. They took it for granted, I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm not.
Seems like it.
I don't suit up for this team. So I don't know what the mindset is, but all I'm trying to do is trying to figure out what the mindset was. And sometimes it's like, oh, well, we'll flip the switch again. But you know what? They're flipping the switch, and the brake was turning on. It's not turning on.
Yeah. Michael Perkins, thank you for this $20 super chat. We appreciate it. Says, not making Liam Cohen head coach was at the time a head-scratching decision, given how good of a duo Cohen and Baker and the offense were. Now it looks even worse. It's going to set this team back a long time. We had our guy. Certainly, we can Monday morning quarterback and say, oh, look what Liam Cohen's doing. But to me, the biggest effect that I think it had is not just that the offense isn't playing up to its capabilities. It's that last year, Baker Mayfield had the best year of his career.
That's right.
And you took that away with Liam Cohen, and not all of the blame is on Josh Broussard.
Yep.
But you had it with Liam Cohen and didn't look like it was going anywhere. I don't mean like Liam Cohen specifically, because he certainly went somewhere else.
Yeah.
But in terms of the functionality of this offense, this was an offense last year that dragged the defense to the finish line and helped them win games.
Yeah.
This had to be the case this year with how inept the defense has been. But this year's offense can't drag the defense to the finish line. The offense isn't able to win these big back and forth games anymore the way they were able to last year, because Liam Cohen is no longer with the Bucs. So to me, that's the biggest impact versus who's head coaching. It's how great this offense was.
Yep.
TJ Fuller, thanks for the $9.99, says, what Bull said at halftime let me know we were screwed. We controlled the clock and we're running the ball well. Todd reverted back to Jets head coach. And here we are, way too conservative all game. Yeah, they played not to lose, and they lost. And the one time they didn't play to lose was being aggressive on the blitz when you shouldn't have blitzed Antoine Winfield Jr. So I don't know.
Speaking of the Jets, they got walloped today by the New Orleans Saints, who are on fire now. The Saints
3 wins in a row.
3 wins in a row. They're 5-10, and if the Buccaneers don't win another game, and the Saints win the next 2 games,
same record,
they'll be tied with the Saints.
Insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But one arrow's pointing up right now, and one arrow's pointing down right now, and it pains me to say that.
Kings are awful. Thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says Poetic Bull's career ends with a loss to a backup. Yeah, he'll get that chance against Quinn Ewers in Miami next Sunday.
Yeah, if they lose that game, then the Panthers will win the division, right? As long as the
Panthers would have to win. They play Seattle,
right? I guess what I'm saying is okay. So if the Buccaneers lose to the Dolphins, the Panthers have to win the next 2, right, to win the division.
I think so.
Where's Garagama when you need him? Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that's the case, because if the Bucs beat the Panthers the final week, I think the Bucs have the tiebreaker. I don't exactly know how, but I think that's the case.
Yeah.
Zach Jarvis, thanks for the $2 super chat, says, what is the Bucs' identity on offense? Yeah, I don't know.
I know what it should be.
The identity used to be just get healthy, and now that they're healthy and they don't have it.
It should be your $100 million quarterback throwing the ball all over the field and throwing touchdowns to the 2 first-round pick wide receivers and the 2 third-round pick wide receivers, now that they're all healthy. That's what it should be to me. And then you run the ball too. To me, this should be pass the ball to set up the run. And this should be a pass on first down, a run on second down, and then what is your down and distance on third down? And then it might be another run, or it might be
last
a pass.
Year.
Yeah.
Did it all last season and it worked.
That's right.
Fantastic results. But
turned out pretty good last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Not this time around. Bart Harley Jarvis, thank you very much for this $27.99 super chat. Says, complete joke that a must-win game has this many penalties, errors, and an unprepared team. Offensive coordinator can't get in a rhythm. Defense does nothing well.
Yeah.
Carolina deserves the South. Fire the staff. Get the passengers out of the room.
Yeah, I mean, they had 10 days to prepare for this game. And the defense did nothing well today. Like, I can't sit there and say, like, what did they do well? I mean, Servacio Dennis got a sack and a half. One of those sacks was because Bryce Young got his foot stepped on. Right. Yeah. So there's no takeaways by this defense today. That would have helped. Mm-hmm. You had your best
JPP wasn't the answer, clearly.
JPP was not the answer, for sure.
And they dropped them back in coverage. I was in tears laughing on the Pewter Game Day show when JPP dropped back in coverage. I was like, this guy hasn't played in 2 years.
Yep.
And he's back to go and drop in coverage for this team. Just too funny.
And you get your best cornerback getting beat by the rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but Tedero McMillan probably wrapped up, unless Travion Henderson goes nuts down the stretch here over these last couple of games. He probably wrapped up the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year honors today.
Sad, true.
Yeah. Almost 100 yards receiving.
Yeah, I mean, Emeka Buga would have to go bonkers in the next 2 games. You kind of get that rematch, which is highlighted a little bit more. But yeah, I think McMillan won it. The Real Maverick, thank you for this $2 super chat. Says, I watched the Raise the Flags and I became delusional. Docu series does inspire hope, that's for sure.
It does.
Monster Jam Fever, thank you for the $1.99. Says, I'm not even mad. Thank you guys for the great coverage. Thank you very much for the kind words. And I get it. Like, there's a sense of, and someone said in the comments much earlier, I think it was Stubby Ryan, said that like they just feel apathy with this team. And it's kind of sinking in for sure.
I mean, I hate to say it. I spent a lot of time researching draft picks, free agents, and head coaching candidates this week. I just did because it feels like we're about there. It feels like we're 2 weeks away from the offseason officially beginning, and probably a head coaching search, and then probably a top 15 draft pick the way this thing is going right now. So just doing my job, folks. That's what we're doing here. But yeah, these losses, these last 2 games, like I was pissed off about the Saints game, right? I was like, what are we doing here? Like, are you
Falcons
kidding
game
me?
was very angry as
just
well.
Just resigned to the fact that they were going to lose to Kirk Cousins in the creamsicles in primetime. Yeah. Like I just was resigned to that going into the game. I had money on Carolina today. Figured they were going to lose. I picked them to lose. They did. I'm 11-4 in my picks this year. It's probably the best year I've ever had picking the team.
Nice.
and like, I don't want that. I mean, I would love for the team to be 11-4, and me be 7-8, right? But I just got a good read on this team, unfortunately, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's good to have a read on the team, but it sucks when the read is, hey, they're going to lose 5-6 and 6-7 and all that stuff. But thanks to Mark Fisher for those $4.99. His last 2 minutes of the half was a joke. No blitzes until you know they're going to the end zone. Dumb. Even if we win the division, parentheses, LOL, Rams will kill us. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the Rams. I wouldn't worry about who you're going to play in the postseason because at this point, you're not going to the postseason. There's nothing that inspires hope that Tampa Bay should reach the playoff.
Yeah,
Playoffs?
Exactly. This team hasn't shown it can beat the Saints or the Falcons or the Panthers. So, like, what gives anybody? I'm just trying to be real here, people. What gives you confidence they're going to beat the Rams or the Seahawks or
I don't
the
think
Lions
they could beat the
or
Titans,
whatever
they couldn't
team
beat the Titans, let alone the Rams. They couldn't beat the Titans at this moment. Who I think the Titans won today, but they played the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes. Michael Perkins, thank you for this $5 super chat. Says, like Bowles was already more than deserving of being fired last year, and we lost Cohen to keep that. It's unbelievable. What did people expect keeping him? I think a leader behind the scenes, a player's coach for sure. Formerly a defensive mind.
Yeah.
And maybe he sold a lot of people with the Eureka moment. He had me convinced that changes were coming, and
the Lasers, and I mean that plural, Lasers, the Laser family, big time Todd Bowles supporters, like big time. And you saw it; they went all in with the contract extension. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to pick Todd over Liam, right? We're going to let Liam walk. We're not going to do the old switcheroo. That was their first sign that they were all in on Todd Bowles. Then they just said, hey, we want to shut people up that are talking about Bowles being on the hot seat. We're going to give him a contract extension in the offseason. Like that, didn't even have to do that, but they did. And so they're all in. Now, how much of that has changed since the bye week? I don't know, because the Blazers don't speak to anybody in the media, certainly not on camera. And they're not like Jerry Jones, where they're going to let you know what they think, or Woody Johnson. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Ben Harvey, thanks for the $2 super chat, says these guys are mentally cooked. They are not this bad. Yeah, they have too much talent to be 7-8 and need to win the next 2 games to get in.
Yep, I agree.
Steve Shoot, thanks for the $20 super chat. Says this team is toast. No
Mm-hmm.
urgency, totally nonchalant, just an attitude of utterly not caring about the outcome.
Yeah,
and that's all on Todd Bowles. Yes, Baker threw the pick, but the team's culture is broken, and that's on Todd. Spectacular point, Steven. And thank you again for the super chat. I not much more to add. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head.
Bunch of good guys in the locker room, that's for sure. But
too much kumbaya.
But those good guys are 7-8 right now. So
yeah. But hey, they're all best friends. So friendship is the real winner, I guess.
Team chemistry. Yep.
SRQ Salts, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Says signs of poor coaching, poor offensive play, and defensive calls that don't put you in a position to be successful. Poor discipline and lack of concentration, parentheses, penalties, uninspired play, and lack of energy. Yeah, to me, it's that last part. It's the lack of energy. It's not caring. Once you lose that, again, like you have a chance to go to the postseason, compete for a Super Bowl.
Right.
And it legitimately feels like the only guy that wants to compete for a Super Bowl is Mike Evans. That's the one guy that is showing up. And I know statistically he didn't have a big game, but he's the one guy that's like putting it all out on the line. Mike Evans could have easily said, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to stay on injury reserve for the rest of the season. But no, he worked his ass off to get back.
Yeah.
Got surgery to fix his collarbone. He wants to go and win a Super Bowl. He's given the effort, and no one else is. And it's really unfortunate to see.
Yeah.
Bad Boys Barbecue. Thank you for this. $4.99 super chat says the season is a total letdown.
Yeah.
They are defeated. We need some new minds to lead this team. Baker looks lost out there. It's still a Bucs life. Yeah, I mean, they need new coach. They need a new set of eyes, a new message,
stale.
a new everything. Very
stale.
Stale. That's the best way to describe it.
And they've been stale. That was the headline of my 2-point conversion, my post-game column after the Saints game. This is Todd Bowles' team is stale. It still is. You know, it's like And what happens when the bread gets stale, Matt? You know, you don't eat it. It doesn't like become fresh. You just throw it out and you get new bread.
Mm-hmm. Wellesley, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says, pray we don't lose Mike because of Todd Bowles. Mike's had a couple of coaches in his career. Yeah. He's had new offensive coordinators the last 3. I don't think Mike's going to retire. It's like it's either Bowles or me. You know.
Yeah. The great thing about Mike is, regardless of who the head coach, who the play caller, who the quarterback has been, Mike has still been that guy.
Exactly.
You know, that's the most remarkable thing about him is it wasn't like Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning, you know, those 2 guys, and it wasn't Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, you know, and I know Steve Young came late, but Mike has just had this revolving door at quarterback. I mean, this is year 3 of Baker, right? And, you know, and he's had some good years. Obviously, this year's been injured, but then he had 3 years with Brady, right? And those were some good years too. He had 5 years with Jameis, right? And then before that, it was Josh McCown and Mike Lennon, you know? So, and then
Fitz in there as well.
Fitz Magic in there too. Yeah. So that's the beauty of Mike is it doesn't matter who's throwing on the ball or who's throwing the plays. Yeah. He's quarterback.
I think one of the best compliments you can have as a wide receiver is being quarterback proof. I think DeAndre Hopkins was like that for a while. Cause remember the Texans before, what they have now with CJ Stroud, they had a turnstile of quarterbacks as well. So, Mike Evans, quarterback proof.
Yep.
Gator, Florida, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, this goes back to Arians waiting to retire and setting up Bowles to get the job. The Glazers need to part comps with Arians. Disgraceful what he did. I don't think it's disgraceful what Bruce Arians did.
No.
I would like to hit him with some truth serum, though, and see what actually went down when he decided to retire.
Yeah.
Jefferson Tugboat, thanks for the $5 super chat. Says the Buccaneers are turning this into Pewter Report. No offense to you guys. I mean,
none taken.
Listen, they've lost 6 to 7. There's not much to highlight. There's at least when they lost the Falcons, for everything bad, we could at least say, hey, Mike Evans was great and Jalen McMillan looked good in his return. We can't even say that after this game.
Yeah.
There's not one thing, except for, again, I said earlier, like I thought Benjamin Morrison was pretty good overall, except for allowing him to play at the end, and Jacob Parrish. Outside of that, there's not one thing we can say this was good or this was good.
Is Emeka Egbuka going to get 1,000 yards this year?
Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, I think is he just hit 900 or something like that?
Yeah.
Where did he finish at? He had one catch, right?
He had one catch on that big play got him in the midfield. He had one catch for he was a leading receiver for 40 yards, but one catch didn't happen until late in the game. Just 2 targets.
Right. So I don't think he's not at 900 yet. So he'll need 50 plus yards in each of the next 2 games to get 1,000 yards. So this could be a year where the Bucs don't have a 1,000-yard receiver, don't have a 4,000-yard passer, don't have a 1,000-yard running back either. Right.
Yeah.
Despite all of these weapons, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, so he was at 870 before this game. If my math is right, that puts him at 910 after the 40 yards. So, he needs 90 yards in the next 2 games. An average of 45, which is certainly doable, but you kind of never know what you're going to get with it's like a box of chocolates, this Bucs offense. You never know what you're going to get. Kings are awful. Thanks for the Geist 85, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says viewers will demolish this defense. We've seen lesser quarterbacks play great.
True.
Kings are awful. Thanks for the $4.99. Says not hard for Bucs opposing quarterbacks to outplay Baker when opposing quarterbacks play a dog. You know what? Defense. It's been the story of the season.
Yeah.
SRQ Salt. Thanks for the $4.99. Says if a hack like me knows if Otten/tight end 1 lines up, tight goes in motion. It's 100% a running play. Pretty certain opposing NFL defensive coordinators and players know it.
Yeah, and I watched Trevor Sikkema's Fix Your Franchise.
Yeah, me too.
Good podcast, really good with Connor
Rogers.
Connor Rogers and Trevor Sikkema. And they both had Cade Otten coming back, and it really depends on the price tag for me. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, and they're saying $10-12 million. Like, whoa, what?
Yeah, what?
I mean, no. I don't put all stock in PFF, right? I mean, I'm like you guys. I cherry pick PFF when they report something that backs up my belief, and I'll mention PFF, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They're kind of hit and miss, right? But I want to say it was out of like 71 graded tight ends. Otten ranks like 62 or something out of all the tight ends. I mean, and Payne Durham was like 47, right? So, I mean, Payne Durham, the backup tight end, has a higher PFF grade than Cade Otten does. And, I mean, if he wants to come back, like, and this is, Josh Capel might laugh at me for this because I'm not the cap guy here at Pewter Report. He is. But if they wanted to say, Cade, we'll take you back like 1 year, $5 million, okay, fine. But nowhere near $10 million. If they do, I might have to drive over to one Buccaneer place and like pop Mike Greenberg's tires or something, like slash him and, take a baseball bat to him like some angry chick, but not to him, but to his car.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I just don't see the appeal. I mean, he's not that good of a blocker and he's an average receiver.
Like he's an okay blocker. He missed a block today pulling. He's an okay receiver that's slow.
Yeah.
And doesn't factor into the offense too much.
Yeah.
As far as the receiving tight end.
Yeah.
Kay Leard, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, with the weapons the Bucs have on offense, they should be moving the football with more consistency. Is it offensive coordinator, the quarterback, or both? Certainly both. I think today was a lot more, of course, on Josh Broussard than it was Baker Mayfield. But there's been times guys have been open and Baker hasn't made the throw. I think obviously the one that was highlighted was Abuka last week when they had a chance to finish the game and just didn't. So,
yeah, there was a throw in the second half to Jalen McMillan. Probably should have been caught because it hit him in the hands, but the ball kind of fluttered a little bit and it was high. And McMillan was wide open running, and just if it's just right in his hands at eye level or like in his chest, I mean, it's an easy catch. But Baker sometimes with his inaccuracy makes it hard for these receivers to catch the ball.
That's true. Wellesley, thanks for the $1.99, says internal issues with this team. Everyone has been bad. Yeah, every Bucs player and coach should take part of the blame. It's everywhere.
This popped up in my head. Let me ask you right now.
Yeah.
Which Buccaneer player on offense is just playing the best football right now?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I would have said Mike, but I don't think he really counts because he's only been here for the last 2 games. Right, man, that's
right. See what I'm saying?
No one really, maybe Rachaad White, but they don't give him the ball anymore.
Yeah, or maybe Tristan.
Maybe Tristan.
Right. Okay. So Tristan. Now on defense, who's playing the best football? Best, most consistent football?
I would say Tyke Smith.
Right. And I mean, did he make any plays this week? Not really.
No.
Right.
No.
and he missed last week. So what I'm saying is there hasn't been that
immediate answer either.
Yeah. There's no immediate answer, and there's just not that guy on offense or defense that you can say, well, like, for example, the Giants are having a crap year, right? Brian Burns is lighting it up because he's a really good pass rusher, right? So you can sit there and say, well, Brian Burns, at least he's having a good year, right? Like you could say the same thing, not this year, but in years past about Trey Hendrickson, right? But the Bengals suck, but Trey Hendrickson, 17 sacks again.
Exactly.
Right? Like there's not that guy that you can hang your hat on. And I'm not sure who goes to the Pro Bowl. Hey, Moose, shut up. I'm doing a podcast. Sorry, my dog's barking. But you know what I'm saying? It's just what's going on here? Like, there's nobody. I don't listen. If no Buccaneers make the Pro Bowl this year, I'm fine with that. I think the only one who has a chance is Tristan.
And I would say I'm not as dialed in with the other players of this position around the league. Chase McLaughlin's having a Pro Bowl caliber year, especially after the first month. Remember, he had some issues at the beginning of the year, but those are so much in the rearview mirror. I'd say maybe Chase McLaughlin as well. But I'm with you. They don't have any Pro Bowl players right now. It's glaring for sure. David Ammons, thank you for the $5 super chat, says Bowles, Baker, and Grizzard have collectively destroyed what Brady and Bruce Arians built here. I wouldn't say destroyed, just definitely having a down year.
Yeah, and I mean, Brady was on the way out. Bruce Arians was on the way out. I mean, those were 2 guys at the very, very tail end of their careers here. So, I mean, it wasn't like that was sustainable by any means.
For sure. And the NFL players come in, come out. It's the cycle of the league. You're not going to have that Super Bowl team every single year.
Right.
And players from it. TJ Fuller, thank you for the $4.99, says, did we watch the same game? They didn't throw the ball today at all, unless it was 3rd and save me. Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Baker did throw the ball 26 times. I think he only completed what did he complete? 18 of 26. He was 18 of 26, and he got sacked, twice today? And he scrambled 4 times, so he dropped back to pass 32 times today. So they did try to pass the ball. 4 of those were scrambles for 49 yards for Baker? Yeah, 49 yards. And then he got sacked twice by Rosen. No, sacked 3 times, right? Rosenboom got him. Derek Brown got him. Yeah, I guess twice. So, yeah, so 36 times, it just wasn't that effective. I mean, 36 dropbacks for 146 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and then 49 yards on the ground. So, not even 200 production yards from your quarterback today through air or the ground. It's not good enough.
No, it wasn't. West Point, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. We appreciate it. Raynard Chamberlain, thanks for the $2. Says, honestly, Baker is too up and down for an extension. At this point, I wouldn't give him an extension. It depends on how much money Baker's going to want, because we keep putting this line of 50 million, 55 million. It's just, he's not worth that much.
Yeah.
Rich Balchin, thank you for the $2 super chat, says, could you see a trade for head coach again, Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings? I would trade for Kevin O'Connell in a second.
Yeah.
The problem is, one, you don't see head coaches traded too much, because if you're a good coach, they want to keep you.
Sure.
The only times where you see something like that, it's when there's discord between the owner and the coach, which I think Gruden had that with Al Davis.
For sure.
You need an ownership with a big ego. And it kind of goes back to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys when he fired Jimmy Johnson after they just won 2 Super Bowls in a row. You know, it's insane. But obviously actually I shouldn't say, I don't know the Vikings ownership. Probably because they don't have a big ego like Jerry Jones. So,
well, the other thing too is like with Gruden, they just promoted Bill Callahan, who was the offensive coordinator and the O-line coach. They promoted him to the head coach. So they already had their in-house guy. Like, all right, we'll trade John. We'll keep the offense the same, right? Defense will stay the same. We're just going to get rid of our head coach and we'll keep everything else the same. You know, and they had a really good team. That Raiders team was a Tom Brady tuck rule away from going to the Super Bowl, right? Instead, they lost in that snowy game. And then what happened the next year? They went to the Super Bowl without John Gruden. So that was an instance where the Raiders already had their in-house replacement. I don't know that that's the case necessarily with the Vikings. Who's their defensive coordinator? Is it still Brian Flores? Or am I?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So maybe you promote Brian Flores if you trade away Kevin O'Connell. It's worth exploring. I mean, good coach.
Why not? Yeah, give him a call.
Offense.
Give him a call.
He's from the Sean McVay tree, right? So
that's true. Dubs, thanks for the $4.99 super chat, says, we got to give Baker a chance with a competent head coach. He's done too much with other people, hindering the team to give up on him. Yeah, they shouldn't give up on Baker.
Yeah, for sure.
But let him play out next season. Like, it's not that this season and the performance from Baker doesn't matter this year, but ultimately he's going to be judged on what he did next season and whether or not he should be back or what he should be paid. This season, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much of what he will do next year, regardless of what happens in these next 2 games.
Yep.
West Point, thanks for the West Point 1999. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. It says, interior offensive line play has been key to Baker's poor play. Weapons don't mean anything with interior pressure on a short quarterback. That's true, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're certainly missing Cody Mauk. And remember, no Ben Bredesen again, who's on injured reserve.
It makes a difference. It does.
The rest of the year. And a struggling Graham Barton, too.
Yeah, I agree.
Gabriel Kelber, thank you for being a Pewter Report YouTube channel member for 9 months now. Says, SR, what's the % chance Bowles is gone? Is he gone even if we make the playoffs and lose first round? And who would be your pick for next head coach?
To answer your question, with Todd Bowles, I think if he doesn't win the NFC South, it puts him in some serious jeopardy, especially if this team ends up with just one more win, right? If they're 7-10, I don't know how you can keep him at this point in time, because this is the healthiest the team has been. These last 2 games, this is the healthiest that this team has been. And they lost these 2 games to the Falcons and to the Panthers. And then you've lost the division at the end of the season. So 7-10 to me, I think he's gone. If they somehow win the division at 8-9 by beating the Panthers in Week 18, I don't see why you would keep him. The defense needs so much fixing. This is his side of the ball. If he was a walk-around coach, I think we said this on the Pewter Insider podcast a lot on Friday's show, Matt. If he's the walk-around coach, if he's John Harbaugh, if he's Mike Tomlin, what would we be saying right now? Fire the defensive coordinator, right? Fire him. There's no pass rush. They're not getting the takeaways they need. The defense can't stop anybody. You're giving up too many touchdowns, not holding them to field goals. Fire the defensive coordinator. Well, Bowles is the defensive coordinator. So I think the chances are pretty good. Based upon my research today, and I've not done Jesse Minter yet, I looked into Clint Kubiak. I'm not opposed to Todd Monken coming back. I like Monk. I still text him. I think he's a fire and brimstone kind of guy. He's 59. He's not the young OC. The other thing too with Monken is he has always called plays from the press box, from the coach's box. Did that at Georgia. Did that here with Dirk Cutter when he was the OC. And he's done that in Baltimore now. So if you want him and his offensive prowess, well, how can he adjust to calling plays from the sidelines? That's something you'd have to kind of explore, right? And it's been a little hit and miss with the Ravens. I think Lamar being hurt has had part of that. We'll see what happens tonight against the Patriots, right? But I would say right now, based upon the candidates, I would say Chris Shula would probably be my number one guy right now. And that's not the final answer. That's just their answer for right now. I think you get him and you bring Shieldhouse in from the Rams organization as your OC, your play caller. The Rams are doing a lot of good things right now. You could do worse, and look at Sean McVay's tree in terms of those head coaches now. And Liam Cohen's one of those in Jacksonville who came from that Sean McVay tree. So I think that's probably where I'd start. I'd look out west and try to pluck some Rams guys.
It's tough looking at a defensive coach come in, but yes, with the theory of bringing in offensive guys as well from the Rams, and there's nothing McVay can do about it because it's an upgrade for them and a promotion for them. Then it becomes more reasonable.
Matt, we just got a media advisory. This is a little odd from a time standpoint. We've never seen this time before, but Todd Bowles is going to have an in-person media availability tomorrow, and we've seen it typically around 12:30, right?
Yeah,
and we've even seen it at 2:30. Tomorrow's is at 3:30.
Interesting.
That's just a little bit of an odd time, right?
Maybe he wants to sleep in. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like he's flying back from LA or Seattle.
Right.
He's
They're
flying
probably
back
already
from
home.
Carolina. You're probably already home. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is odd because even like last week it was at 2, and it's usually not even that late.
Right.
You know?
Sometimes it's been 12:30.
Yeah. That is interesting.
And he's even done them early in the morning. I mean, after after the Falcons game, or no, when was it? There was one of them was the Falcons game. They all run together. That it was like 8:30 in the morning or something via Zoom.
Yeah.
So interesting.
No rhyme or reason, kind of like this team.
Yep.
Meets McGee, thanks for the $5. Baker didn't have a bad game. The game planning was awful, and John wasn't crazy about Jeff Garcia and his off-platform throws. He would not like Baker.
Yeah, Baker. It reminds me a lot of Jeff Garcia, and John has a love-hate quarterback or a love-hate relationship with quarterbacks. He either loves you or he hates you. It's a very week-to-week proposition. So, I could see him when Baker's rolling, he would love Baker. And when Baker's not rolling, he would probably cuss him out and, what are you doing? Just all of that stuff. So it would make for some interesting sideline fireworks between the two on a bad day.
It would.
So
Tusk 3, thanks for the $4.99. Everyone talks about the talent and leaders on this roster. Are we really so sure? Seriously.
I think this team has got some talent. I don't think that they're being inspired. I don't think that a lot of these guys, especially on defense, are getting coached up to their ability. Like, I think Zion McCollum is salvageable. I think there's tools there. Definitely. I think Antoine Winfield Jr. has just kind of gone back to being a good safety when he was an all-pro safety a couple years ago. I think he has another level he can get back to. I think there's a little bit more in Yaya Diaby's game with more pass rush moves. I don't think he's ever going to be a number one guy that's going to get 10 sacks, but can he be a guy that consistently gets 7 to 8 sacks a year? Yeah, he can either be a solid number 2, or if you ever find a JPP Shaq, 1-2 punch, then he could be a really good Carl Nassib, a guy that comes in off the bench and gets 6.5 sacks a year as that outside linebacker 3. I mean, him as outside linebacker 3 would be better than Anthony Nelson in that role, or better than Chris Braswell for sure. I think there's talent on this team. It's not getting maxed out, and the players are not getting put in position to have their talents maximized. And I think the play calling has been very, very, very either dry, subpar, or just very average. And I say average, like last week was average on offense, right? They put up 20 points, but it was average, right? It was average against the Cardinals, and they won the game. And then we've seen some subpar games where they've lost. So, yeah. Leadership, sometimes you get a C because you're the best player in offense or defense. And that's the truth in college, and that's the truth in the NFL. Sometimes the popular guys get the C. Like Jason Pierre-Paul never had a C on his chest. He was definitely one of the team leaders, definitely a team captain, but just didn't wear the C. Same with Sue. Never had the C on his chest when he was here. But he was a leader, great leader. So
right. And like Mike to me is a leader. And a lot of these guys they were team captains in 2020. Now the difference was I think the Bucs have too many leaders by example, where you need the guy to give the pump up speech. You need the guy to light into everybody. And that they don't have. Whether or not you have a C, they just don't have that aspect of it. SRQ Salt, thanks for the $4.99, says, Bucs still celebrating the 50th using McKay's 76 game plan today. SR, in all seriousness, that play calling was reminiscent of the Bucs game plan with Sean King.
Yeah.
At quarterback.
Maybe they should go back to using their throwback uniforms. They're 2-0 in those 1976 jerseys.
Why not?
So,
nothing else worked.
I know. I agree.
Thank you to Sexy Princess Rider 2362 for the $5 super chat. Says, as a Panthers fan, I look forward to our King of Shit Mountain title match in Week 18.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I don't think either team's going to feel good about winning.
And the award for the tallest midget goes to?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Kirby Chupp, thank you for the $4.99. Says Baker was not the problem today. He had only missed a few passes all game. Then McMillan dropped the pass. Yeah, that was a bad drop by Jalen McMillan. Cost me some money as well.
Yeah, me too.
And Mike bailed on his route to lose the game. Yeah, Baker was fine. Just when you're not pushing the ball down the field at all, and that's why Josh Grizzard gets probably more of the blame pie today. But Baker wasn't incredible by any means. And as you said earlier, Scott, his scrambles and him running was better than him throwing today.
Yeah.
And should not be
was he the problem? No. But was he the answer? No.
Correct.
And sometimes when you're the $100 million man at quarterback, you need to be the answer. This team is paying you to become the answer. And we've seen him be the answer at Seattle, at Atlanta, at Houston, against the Jets at the end of the game. We've seen him be the answer.
Yeah.
He wasn't the problem today, but he wasn't the answer. And they needed him to be the answer today. And he just wasn't.
Thanks to Justin Newland for this $5 super chat. Says bad offense complementing a terrible defense complementing an awful special teams.
It's well said.
Been that way for a while.
Yeah.
Seth Goodfellow, thank you for being a Pewter Report YouTube channel member now for 2 months. Says, I think we made a mistake letting Cohen walk. It looks more and more like that as the Jaguars are close to taking the lead over Denver. It's tied at 17.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville's in the red zone trying to put up 6 points.
Yeah, it's a 10-win Jaguars team, but in a 12-win Broncos team, and they're right there. You know.
A big thank you to Black Gold 1999 for this $49.99 super chat.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Says, what was going on with Luke Gedeke, and why the heck were we running so much with Mike, Chris, Jalen McMillan, and Ibuka on deck?
I don't know.
Also, it's about 7 people on defense we really need to get rid of, starting with Logan Hall.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Luke Gedeke just had a bad game.
Yeah.
Like, it happens from time to time. They had enough to overcome it and just didn't. And the game plan just made absolutely no sense. And Logan Hall won't be here next season, so they're obviously not going to get rid of him with 2 games to go, but he's not an answer to fixing this defense.
Yeah. So, Bucs fans, if you have not read my SR's Fab 5 column on Friday. I'm dropping it in the chat right now. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying this is required reading. If you're a Bucs fan, check this out. I don't necessarily list the solutions yet because I'm still diving into free agency and doing draft study, so I don't want to sit there and talk out of turn. But I put that in the chat. You can read the SR's Fab 5 after this podcast. But I go through all the problem areas. This team has a lot of holes it has to fill, and I named them all. And so if you're looking for a quick, easy, digestible read that breaks it all down, make sure to read SR's Fab 5. List all the problems the team has, and there's a lot. And the crazy thing, Matt, is if they would have won today and won the next 2 games and finished 10-7, same record as last year, with another division title, if that would have taken place, this team still has a lot of holes to fill. More holes on their roster than you would think a double-digit winning team that won the division for a 5th straight time, which probably won't happen now, but more than you would think that team needs those many holes to get filled. But there's a lot of holes to get filled. And Jason Licht's got a lot of heavy lifting to do. He cannot rely solely on the draft. This has got to be a very active free agency season. He's got to flood certain positions and just really just throw the kitchen sink at this thing and just, kind of pull what Howie Roseman does.
Yeah.
Trades, draft picks,
constantly upgrading.
Yes. Yeah.
And Jacksonville just took the lead over Denver. So
there we go.
The Bike Watcher, thank you for this $20 super chat. Says, thank goodness the Lightning exist. They found a way to win last night.
Yeah.
It's so tough being a Bucs fan. Evans and David going out as they came in on the Yucks. Sad and unfortunate. Season was off to such a promising start. Yeah, I mean, they were 6-2.
Yep.
Now they're 7-8.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a tough feeling. What you said there about Evans and Levante. Now, Mike could come back next season, and maybe they rearrange it. But yeah, Levante, not the way you want to end your career. But you don't always get to control how you ride off into the sunset, if you will. So.
Oh, by the way, Josh Capo has a great article. I'm going to drop that in the chat too for those Mike Evans fans. I know there's quite a bit of you because Mike's really, really good. I'm going to drop that in the chat as well. How much will it cost to bring back Mike Evans? And I've got that number for you. Actually, Josh Capo does. So make sure you read that article on PewterReport.com. Again, putting that in the chat right now.
James Blair, thanks for the $10 super chat, says, FYI, we ran because Baker can't be trusted. He's not accurate, gets happy feet, makes critical errors. Great competitor, not the answer. Paying for the Super Bowl run and 4 conference titles. Reset coming. Now, I hate when people are like, oh, well, this is what, and I'm saying you specifically, James Blair, but like, this is what you get. Like, if you go all in, it's like, yeah, you won a Super Bowl. If the cost is, you're going to pay for it in 5 years with certain players, fine. So be it. You won a Super Bowl. You're a title contender. Like, what is the alternative?
Yeah.
You stay conservative. You don't make adjustments. You don't go after Tom Brady, and you don't have a Super Bowl. And then you don't make the 50-year docuseries, or you make the docuseries, and it's very different.
That's right.
You don't have Tom Brady throwing the Lombardi Trophy to the
right.
tight end boat. It just blows my mind with that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you might suffer from this, but you get this, which is a Super Bowl. I don't know.
Folks, if you don't believe Matt, if you don't believe every word that Reverend Matt just preached to you, ask the Falcons, ask the Browns, ask the Bengals, ask the Jaguars, ask the Texans, ask the Bills, right? A lot of franchises have not won a Super Bowl, not even one, right? So, yeah, it's worth it. And if you get a Lombardi, it's worth it. All of the pain and the suffering and the misery, it's worth it.
For sure. I think a lot of Bucs fans, too, would say, okay, if you got a Super Bowl this year, would you be okay with a decade of not making the postseason after? I think a lot of people would sign up for it. Then you could argue, well, I'd rather be competitive every year, and maybe you do win a Super Bowl. But, yeah. And I do agree with James Blair. The happy feet for Baker in the pocket, to me, just, I don't know, drives me crazy a little bit. Buck for Life, thanks for the $4.99 super chat, says, can we talk about how the team is 0-18 when down at half since last season? Are we serious? I've been giving up on the game if we're down at half, shaking my head.
Yeah. And that was a brutal play, too. Yeah, that was a brutal play right there too. That touchdown, Tedero McMillan.
Yeah. Jared Cargolf, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, I drove all the way to Carolina to watch Mike Evans bail on his final route to lose the game, but was complaining about the defense last week.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. And Baker even kind of explained this, and this is why we wait until Baker's post-game press conference before we do the podcast, because I want to hear, and Matt wants to hear what Baker Mayfield has to say. And what he said is that he was running so often in the game, 4 carries, 2 carries were over 20 yards each, right? He finished with 49 yards rushing. He even said, because he was rolling to his left a little bit, and I think Mike was either doing a scramble drill or starting to block somebody.
Yeah.
He said, when Mike saw me kind of run towards the line of scrimmage, he probably figured I was going to scramble because I'd done that so much in the game. And it just was a matter of, but here's my whole thing. Baker is throwing the ball as Mike is turning the other way. Don't you have to sit there and kind of just double clutch that or something? Like, he's throwing the ball, and the ball's still in his hands right here as Mike is going to the right, and the ball is going to the left. And it's just like, I know sometimes you want to throw the ball with anticipation, but this is crunch time. You got to be sure. You've got to be absolutely sure that the receiver is on the same page with me, the quarterback, when I'm throwing the ball. And it's clear he wasn't. So that was just kind of a curious decision by Baker. I just think, I think he's just like, I'm going to trust Mike to run the route. Oh, shoot. I should have held on to the ball. Too late.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Mike wasn't giving up on the play. He was getting ready to help on the play with like a block or whatever the case was. So,
yeah.
JM Lane, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says there's no trust between the players and staff anymore. They don't want to be there and make the playoffs. Yeah, they feel very uninspired.
It just looks like a team that just doesn't really care anymore right now. Like, I think they want to care. I think they want to win, but wanting to win and doing whatever it takes to win are 2 completely different things.
For sure. The Real Maverick, thanks for the $5 super chat, says, in Raise the Flags, BA said these guys don't have to like each other. They just have to hold each other accountable. Clearly, too much like, not enough accountability.
That's
Completely agree.
Yep, totally agree.
CJ07, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Or sorry, CJ07CJ. Thanks for the $4.99. Says, Scott, any inside info from Todd on why his defense makes backups look like Hall of Famers? Also, inside info on players calling out 54 for bad play, old or not.
No, I mean, I haven't heard anybody calling out Levante David for that. I mean, and my whole thing is, and this is kind of why I put Matt on the spot and asked him, like, who's playing well on defense? And I think our mutual answer is like Tyke Smith, and it wasn't like Tyke Smith has been tearing it up, going on this interception run, this year or whatever. He's just kind of been like the least
model of consistency.
Yeah, the least suckiest defender, right? Like, he's the guy that's doing a credible, not incredible, but a credible job out there. And I think his give a crap factor is pretty high. But yeah, I mean, the problem is like you can't call anybody out when you're sucking too, And I think that's where we are right now. And that's kind of why I was making the case. It's like, all right, well, Brian Burns is still like getting a ton of sacks with the Giants, even though that's a crap team. Trey Hendrickson, the last 2 years on a bad Bengals team, has gotten 17 sacks. At least you can sit there and say, well, at least he's playing well. But there's nobody playing well right now. So everybody that has a C on their chest or there's a team captain or leader, it's like, what are they going to say? Like, they're not doing anything to change the direction of, change the trajectory of this team. There's no heroes.
That's a really good point.
There's no heroes on defense right now. So like you can this is like the Spider-Man meme, right? Where everyone's pointing their finger at each other. It's like, you make a play. No, you make a play,
Right.
You make a play.
You can tell me what to do. Why don't you get your
exactly,
buddy? Yeah.
Yeah. And so because of that, there is no finger pointing because no one has the right to point any fingers.
Yeah.
So
what they need to do is take the thumb and
that's
point
right.
at stuff. That's what they need. James Fretchett, thank you for the $2 super chat, says, can't have practice squad level guards with Baker, no vision. Yeah, it's tougher when you have a smaller quarterback like Baker. It's gargantuan in
with front. 2 practice squad, guards.
Yeah, Brian Shucker, thanks for the $10 super chat, says literally 5 friggin' deep at wide receiver, and we run 30 times and play conservative as hell. Very questionable game plan. There's no doubt about it. JM Lane, thanks for the $5 super chat, says, how embarrassed will we be when we lose to a Dolphins team when they're trying to tank? They've played better down the stretch. Now, obviously, they benched Tua after a tough performance in primetime last game, and it looks like they got smoked today. Honestly, if they lose to Miami, and we'll see what happens with Carolina, but if they lose on Sunday, I could see them just ripping the Band-Aid off and firing Todd Bowles before the season. So, I know they haven't done it before, but I mean, at that point, what are you waiting for?
So Quinn Ewers today was 20 of 30 for 260 yards, but 2 interceptions. I mean, he's getting his first start, right? But the Dolphins did have 389 yards in the game. It wasn't like their offense completely sputtered. Achane had 81 yards. I mean, the game got out of reach there, but he had a 48-yard touchdown run. So Waddle had 72 yards. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. The thing is Quinn Ewers got his feet wet this week. We'll see if he's any better in his second start, and that'll be at home against the Buccaneers on Sunday.
That's right. Brian Shucker, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, I would and could never root for my team to lose, but if it happens, it means to end, to dump this coaching staff. Yeah. We kind of had this discussion about whether you root for or against your team, if you want the coach fired. I like to call it hate watch. So just hate watch on Sunday. The Oil Brigade, thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if they finish 7-10, and I'm not rooting for against the Buccaneers, I'm just covering this team. It's not my job. I'm not a fan on Sundays. I'm a reporter. It's your job to be the fan. You can root for or against this team, and as hate watch, as Matt would say. That's fine. If this team finishes 7-10 or 8-9 and doesn't make the playoffs, you'd rather be 7-10 because you're going to have a higher draft pick. There really is no difference between 7-10 and 8-9, except when it comes to the draft. So
yeah, definitely.
So if the football gods are just not smiling on the Buccaneers, then just finish 7-10, and just get a new coach in here, a new staff, a higher draft pick, and just hit the reset button.
The Oil Brigade, thank you for the $6.99, says, what makes it even worse is seeing Liam Cohen put up 17 points against the best red zone defense in football right now.
24 points now.
Yeah, now 24.
Yeah,
and
Trevor Lawrence had a 1-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah, they might put up 31 against arguably the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
JD Foster, thank you for the $2.79 super chat. Says, can we try Bazelak in Week 18 if we lose to Miami? No, I mean,
that's not gonna happen.
No. Appreciate the super chat, though. Donuts with Sprinkles. Shout out to Homer Simpson. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, at this point, why should we keep Baker? Seems that this is his ceiling. Plays great at times. Plays like Winston at other times. Jameis Winston.
I mean, he's not that bad. But, yeah, I mean, we saw better Baker in the first half of the season. We saw better Mayfield. We've seen bad Baker down the stretch here in some games, right? I mean, again, he got outplayed statistically speaking and in the win-loss column, which is just as important. And there's your touchdown right there. Trevor Lawrence just threw an 83-yard pass to Washington, and then Etienne just had a 10-yard. So Trevor Lawrence now has 3 touchdown passes in this game, and they're beating Denver 31-17 now in Denver. That's impressive. But yeah, I mean, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions since the bye week is not good enough. When he was 13 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the first 8 games.
Farfall, something. Thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says, Todd has to go. Baker needs to stay. Baker is amazing. We have hated Bowles for years now. If our defense doesn't give up 30 points a game, we win more. Yeah, like that Buffalo game definitely sticks out of, a game they probably had a chance of winning.
Right.
Time will, Mike Evans, when asked about playing next season, he said time will tell. Well, we'll see with Todd Bowles. If they lose out, he's almost guaranteed to be gone.
Yeah.
If they win the next 2, who knows? Tate Miller, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says, how many linebackers do you think we bring in the offseason? Think we draft at least 2 and sign one?
I think they need 3. They need 2 starting caliber, and you save Servassier Dennis. You make him compete for a job. Not just the starting job, but a roster spot next year. Right. So you keep Servassier because, I mean, he's the final year of his contract. Why wouldn't you? Levante retires. Deion Jones, you just let him go. I don't think he's anything to write home about. Jackson and Bullock are back to compete for practice squad spots, but then you bring in 3 other linebackers to compete with Servassier Dennis. At least 1 through the draft, if not 2, and then 1 in free agency. Or 2 in free agency and 1 in the draft,
Yeah.
Flood the
For
position.
sure.
Flood it.
A lot of fresh faces are coming to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Alex Scott, thanks for the $2 super chat. Says, I hope they get Rodriguez from Texas Tech in the draft. That would be awesome.
I love him.
Super pumped for Texas Tech, Oregon in the college football playoff. I think that's going to be awesome.
J-Rod is real deal. I was there when he beat my Kansas State Wildcats and forced 2 fumbles that day out of his 7 on the year, Matt. 7 forced fumbles.
Wow.
Talk about instinctive playmaking linebacker. That's him. Actually, that Texas Tech defense has got like 5 or 6 draftable NFL players on that defense. It's really good, fun defense to watch. I'm rooting for Texas Tech and Georgia the whole way. I just think Texas Tech's a fun team to watch, especially on defense.
JD Foster, thanks for the 279, says Cohen ghosted us because of Baker and Bowles combo. He made Baker great.
Oh, yeah. He loved Baker. He loves Baker. Like, he still texts Baker to this day. He's rooting for him. He loves Baker. It would have been tough, I think, for Jason and Liam to get on the same page from a player personnel standpoint. Just kind of like that's how I was reading the tea leaves. Liam handpicked his GM out there. I think Liam's in charge of that Jaguars franchise. James Gladstone is the handpicked guy, younger than Liam. I think Liam kind of pulls the strings out there, and good for him. He's making a bank load of money from Mr. Khan out there, so why not?
Yeah. Shout out Tony Khan. Mr. King, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, not saying one way or the other, but if fans believe Baker isn't the answer, who is? Are we really going to believe they can find someone better? Yeah, like that's a big case in all of this. It's like if you don't sign Baker or extend Baker, wait, you're just going to go through the draft? You're not. Yeah. You don't have a top 10 pick. And Lamar Jackson was the last pick of the first round. Jackson Dart was taken pretty late, but for the most part, you got to have like that top pick for the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the quarterback list here, and we'll just go through it. These are the highest paid quarterbacks. And Matt, I just want your opinion. You tell me if you'd rather have the guy I'm going to mention or Baker. So the first guy is Dak Prescott, highest paid quarterback. Dak or Baker?
Oh man. I'm gonna go Baker because Dak always wilts in big games.
Burrow or Baker?
Burrow.
Okay, there's 1. Josh Allen or Baker?
Josh Allen.
Okay, there's 2. Jordan Love or Baker?
Close. I'd go Jordan Love though.
Okay, 3. Trevor Lawrence or Baker?
I think it's tough right now because Trevor Lawrence is balling out. I think I would go Baker though. Like if you compare Baker's great season with Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence is like finally putting it together, but it's close.
Tua or Baker?
Baker.
Jared Goff or Baker?
Jared Goff.
Brock Purdy or Baker?
Oh, that's a good one. I think Purdy because he's younger.
Yeah. So you say Purdy? Okay, so that's 5.
Yes.
Justin Herbert or Baker?
I guess I'll go Justin Herbert.
Okay, 6. Lamar Jackson or Baker?
Lamar.
7. Jalen Hurts or Baker?
Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's a winner.
Okay, that's 8. Kyler Murray or Baker?
Baker.
Deshaun Watson or Baker?
Baker.
Kirk Cousins or Baker?
Baker.
Patrick Mahomes
Unless Kirk Cousins is playing the Bucs.
True. Patrick Mahomes or Baker?
Mahomes.
All right, there's 9. Stafford or Baker?
Stafford. I mean, he's playing at MVP level.
That's 10. Geno Smith or Baker?
Baker.
Sam Darnold or Baker?
I'll stick with Baker.
Okay. Justin Fields?
Baker.
Daniel Jones?
Baker.
Aaron Rodgers, present day?
Baker.
Cam Ward?
No.
Russell
Baker.
Wilson?
No.
Caleb Williams?
I'd stick, if we're talking about just this season, I'd say Baker, but long term, probably Caleb Williams.
Bryce Young?
No. Even
Jaden
though he
Daniels?
played Baker today.
Jaden
Long term,
Daniels.
I would take Jaden Daniels.
Okay. That's 12. Drake May?
Yeah, I mean, playing at MVP level, I'll take Drake May.
CJ Stroud?
I'd stick with Baker.
Okay, that's 13. Anthony Richardson?
Nope.
Marcus Mariota?
Nope.
Davis Mills? Jacoby Brissett? Tyrod Taylor?
No.
Jarrett Stidham?
No.
JJ McCarthy?
No.
Michael Penix?
No.
Bo Nix?
No. There's only one other name that you could say that I would pick over Baker.
Jackson Dart?
Ooh, that's not the name I was thinking of. No, I'd stick with Baker.
Okay, who's the name you're thinking of?
Strictly from an entertainment standpoint, Jameis Winston.
Okay. All right. So here's my point. So there's only 13 other quarterbacks out of the 32 that you would rather have than Baker. So that puts Baker in the top 15. He's in the top half of the quarterback echelon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. And I would hazard a guess that out of the other teams that didn't include those 13 quarterbacks you picked, that fans of those teams would pick Baker Mayfield over their guy in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
So long answer, but Matt, you just made the point. It's like you could do a lot worse than Baker Mayfield. And unless you have somebody better than Baker Mayfield that you're going to bring in and compete with or draft or whatever, you're sticking with Baker Mayfield because, there's a lot worse quarterbacks out there. And when he's playing really good football, he's among the best. First half, Baker was 6-2, and this team was good, and he was an MVP conversation. He got hurt, and this team kind of collapsed around him, and the play calling just hasn't been great, and the injuries hit. It's been a lot of factors. But I think you just answered the question, Matt, and I think you answered the right way. It's one of those, the grass isn't always greener. Top 13, 14, 15 quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
He just is.
Yeah, that was a good exercise. I enjoyed that. Adam Gonzalez, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says just block Vita Vea and you can do whatever you want. Yeah, they sure miss Kalijah Cansey. I know he's injury prone, but they're clearly a much better
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, the combo of the two of them is really
special.
What helps drive the engine of the defense. James Blair, thanks for the $10 super chat. Says need a quarterback that can sit in the pocket and deliver the ball consistently. Bake is not the answer for this team with Mike and all the receivers and Buck and White. Need an accurate point guard quarterback versus Bake. But again, like we've seen Baker in some fantastic moments. The Seahawks game earlier in the year, he has it in him.
Right.
It's just the lack of consistency that
4,500 yards last year, 71% completions last year, 41 touchdowns last year. He's capable of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
If he's in the right system, I mean, they didn't have Chris for more than half the year last year, right? They had J-Mac and Mike. They didn't have Emeka last year, right? So I'm just saying, it's like during that fantastic season last year that, yes, Liam Cohen had a lot to do with, that was a team, or I should say an offense that suited Baker really, really well. And he put up those big-time numbers. So he's capable of doing that. You just have to find as close of a system fit as that is, get those guards back healthy, and let this guy cook a little bit.
Ron DeBuck, thanks for the $5 super chat, says Bull said Carolina loses if the opponent rushes X amount of time. Still a bad game plan, leaning on Bucky too much. Brizard said McMillan was the key, I thought. Go Bucs.
Yeah,
McMillan wasn't involved as much as I would have liked. Had that tough drop at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Dante is no good. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Says Purdy has Shanahan. He made Mac Jones competent. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot to be said about Brock Purdy benefiting from having Kyle Shanahan as the head coach. But I don't know. I mean, they're close in comparison, I would say.
Yeah.
And Paul, aka OG Baker Bro, thank you for this $2 super chat. Says, is Baker a $40 million a year quarterback?
All right. Well, I have the list pulled open here again. So let me just say here. So when you say $40 million, that's Matthew Stafford money. He makes $40 million. Patrick Mahomes makes 45, but Kirk Cousins makes 45.
Right.
Deshaun Watson makes 46. Kyler Murray makes 46.1. Jalen Hurts makes 51. Tua makes 53.1. Brock Purdy makes 53. Trevor Lawrence makes 55. Dak Prescott makes 60. So, like, you know, if I'm Mike Greenberg, I'm saying, hell no, he's not worth $40 million because that's how much Matthew Stafford makes. Hell no, he's not worth $45 million because that's what Patrick Mahomes makes. And if I'm Baker Mayfield and I'm his agent, I say, well, contraire, mon frere.
Right.
Is he better than Tua? Yeah, and Tua makes 53.1. Is he better than Kyler Murray? Yeah, Kyler makes 46.1. Is he better than Deshaun Watson? Hell yeah, Deshaun Watson makes $46 million. So the problem is when you're looking at comps here, and this is really a great question for Josh Capo.
Yeah.
When you're looking at comps, Mike Greenberg, Jackie Davis, and Jason Light, they have comps on their side. Baker's team has comps on their side because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And some of these franchises have made really dumb moves with their quarterbacks, like the Dolphins extending Tua. And, you know, and then the worst thing you can do is watch a good quarterback go out the door, right? I mean, you can look at what Sam Darnold did in Minnesota, and yeah, they had J.J. McCarthy, but look what Sam Darnold's doing in Seattle, right? And look what happened with Minnesota when he left, right? So that's the worst thing is what happens if the good quarterback goes out the door just because we're unsure of how much to pay the guy. So what happens? They always overpay the quarterback because the devil you know is worse than the devil you don't, right?
Definitely.
If you don't have if you're going to let Tua walk, who's his replacement? Like I almost don't blame the Dolphins for doing that, but I wouldn't have done it because the guy he's a concussion away from having a career over situation. So
yeah, that's the thing to me. It's not necessarily like for me it's more of okay, yeah, Tua gets paid this and Kirk Cousins gets paid that, but like when does the pendulum swing to okay, like cautionary tale, maybe that's why you don't overpay for for some of these guys. You don't want Baker to be the next Tua or the next Kirk Cousins, you know. But
that's a good point.
It's a gigantic risk. And Mr. King 03, thank you for the $2 super chat, says, reminder, the franchise has never drafted a good quarterback.
That's a fact. That's a fact. They've been here for 30 out of the 50 years of this franchise. And I mean, you could say Doug Williams, but you know, at the same time, I mean, career 47% completion percentage, more losses than wins in his Buccaneer career. You know, I love Doug, and when he left, the Doug Williams curse kicked in. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, it was a, you know, this franchise has just been plagued. I mean, the Trent Dilfers, the Josh Freemans, the Jameis Winstons, the Vinny Testaverdes, the first round guys haven't hit. Second round guys haven't hit. Third round guys
could have been something, but they traded him. So
folks, I want to let you know about a couple things before we let you go. You guys have been fantastic tonight. We're about 2 hours in. This has been a great therapy session. Hopefully, you're feeling a little bit better. Not about the Buccaneers, but just about yourselves, because we're all here together doing this, and we all love each other. And tomorrow, the sun's going to come up, and one way or the other, either the Buccaneers are going to win this division and get another hat and T-shirt, or they are going to probably get a new head coach. So somebody's going to be happy, someone's not going to be happy, but can't please all the people all the time. But one thing you can do is support our efforts here at Pewter Report. We're over 22,100 subscribers on Pewter Report TV. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free. But if you really want to take your support for Pewter Report to the next level, you can become a Pewter Report TV channel member. We had a couple more channel members join the masses this month, which is great to see. We greatly appreciate that. Everybody gets loyalty badges and custom emojis for the Pewter People membership level. Pewter Pro members get early access to the videos. The Pewter Premier and Platinum members get access to our bonus podcast. It's not a B-side. It's not a throwaway podcast. It's not this is album filler. No, our Friday podcast hit. Our Pewter Insider podcast that Matt Matera and I do, some of the best ones we do. And it's only for a select few. The Pewter Premier and Platinum members get that Fridays at 1:30. And yes, we will do one next Friday, the day after Christmas. So it's still football season. So make sure that you either become a Pewter Premier or Platinum member. All of our money that we get from our YouTube channel goes right back to you guys with knowledge, because it's our travel budget that sends us to places like Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl, the Indianapolis NFL Scouting Combine. That's always a fun trip. And we get all the information and interviews and behind-the-scenes scoop and inside scoop, and we bring it right back to you guys in the form of stories on PewterReport.com, as well as our Pewter Report podcasts. So look at it as an investment into your Buccaneer fandom this offseason, because nobody covers the Bucs offseason better than Pewter Report. Also, if you are a business owner, let's say you're a marketing director or manager, you want to help your business score some new customers, advertise with us. We have some sponsorship opportunities available for 2026. Their podcast, website, social media, a lot of different ways we can help your business score new customers. If you're interested, email me at sr@pewterreport.com. We'll have a conversation about that. And finally, the weather outside is not frightful. Why? Because we live in Florida. It's beautiful weather right now, and that means it's time for golf. So whether you're down here vacationing or whether you live here and you want to try a new golf course, make Heritage Isles Golf and Country Club the newest golf course that you try up here in the new Tampa area. It's ranked as the top 3 best value course in Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg by Golf Advisor. That's a hint and a wink and a nod that, hey, it's not terribly expensive to play at Heritage Isles, but it's a fantastic course. They do have a country club that you can join, but it's also open to the public. For tee times, give them a call, 813-907-7447. That's 813-907-7447, or visit them on the web at the Heritage Isles Golf and Country Club website.
Got 2 more super chats to get to before we close out the show. Gabriel Kelber, thank you for the $1.99 super chat, says, if we win the division, does Bowles stay? Not if they lose in the first round.
Yeah.
If they get to the second round, that's a dicey conversation. I think his one card that he can, the last play he can have is get to the NFC Championship game, and then it's almost impossible to fire him.
Right. So if the team wins in Miami, right, and they get to 8 wins, they're back to 500. They have to win, obviously, against Carolina in the rematch in Week 18 at home to win the division. If they do that, then they do. The interesting thing, Matt, and we brought this up in the podcast last week, how many Buccaneer fans are going to show up for Week 18 at the stadium? Because there have been thousands and thousands and thousands of empty seats. They have not had a sellout this year. And what is the fan apathy level right now about this team? If, with everything on the line, with the chance to get to 9 wins, if they beat Miami, against the Panthers, all on the line, last home game, season finale, everything, right? How many fans are going to show up to that game? Matt, if there are 10,000 empty seats at that game, and there could be 15,000 empty seats, or maybe there's 5. I don't know, but that could be kind of a telltale sign to what your point is, where how many people are going to buy playoff tickets, right? Because that's not included in your season tickets. If you want to go to the playoff game at home at Raymond James Stadium, you got to buy playoff tickets. Is that game going to sell out? No, it's not. How many empty seats are there going to be in Week 18 and in the playoff game? That will have some say and sway into the Todd Bowles decision, in my opinion, because the Blazers look at that stuff. They sit there and they have the 50-yard line seats of the luxury suite. They look around and they see all those empty seats. It doesn't make them happy. So that'll be a very key indicator, I think, in these last 2 possible games, if they win the next 2 and end up getting that playoff game.
It is a business after all. Ben Kelly, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, long-term listener in the UK.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Unless you can guarantee a sure bet replacement quarterback, you can't pass on Baker, who wins more than he loses.
It's true.
Yeah, it's all about, if you move on from Baker, who is the answer? And you don't want to get into a reclamation project when you have, when I say a sure thing, I mean like a starting caliber, upper echelon quarterback. So,
yep.
Yeah, then it becomes, if not Baker, as one of the other super chats said earlier, if not him, then who's the guy? And until the Bucs have that answer, you obviously stick with Baker. He hasn't been awful. He's just, it would have been impossible to duplicate what he did last year.
Yeah.
And the team losing 6 of 7 doesn't help either.
Yep, I agree. Folks, we had
do it for us
another 2-hour podcast here.
Yeah, we did.
Game, so
yeah, they're pretty much guaranteed at this point. But it's all because of your support. So thank you so much, everyone. If you're not already doing so, please make sure you follow us on all of our social media on X, Facebook, and Instagram. We're at Pewter Report. And our YouTube channel is PewterReportTV. So please like and subscribe. Leave a comment on this video. Voice your frustrations about this team and hit that like button, as Shaggy says. But that's going to do it for us on today's show. For Scott Reynolds, I'm Matt Matera saying thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you soon tomorrow at 4 p.m. for another edition of the Pewter Report podcast. Out.